the gravitational water that is moved down below the rooting depth of the crop can move back up in the profile and into the effective rooting depth of the crop again, and that happens through a mechanism which is called capillary rise. One of the things we need to remember about soil water is that it is almost always constantly moving. It can be moving down, it can be moving laterally, or it can be moving up. As soon as this soil profile up here gets drier than the soil profile below, it is very, very normal for water to move from an area of higher concentration upward to an area of lower concentration. Now, of course, the suction of the dry soil above has to overcome the gravitational pull downward on that water from this zone down here below. But it does happen. The extent and height to which it happens is pretty much a function of soil texture. Coarser soils not being able to draw that water up to its grade of depth or from its grade of depth, whereas the finer textured soils can see a more substantial amount of capillary rise of water back up to the root zone of that soil profile. So to summarize one more time, the numbers on here that you see that are kilopascals could be bars or atmospheres of soil moisture tension, and the exertion of the soil particles for that. We have a positive pulling force of the soil particles for that water. We also must exert a stronger positive pulling force by the root hair cells to pull that water out of that soil that's being held there. Water passes into the soil, stored in the soil, uptaken by plants or simple evaporative rise. Collectively, the water that is evaporated and transpired is called evapotranspiration water. So there is a term, evapotranspiration, which is looking at the total quantity of water being lost from the soil due to both processes of evaporation and transpiration. If we are looking at utilizing this information, evapotranspiration data, one utilization of that information would be in irrigation scheduling. If we know how much profile our root depth has, or how much profile we are rooted into by our crop, the amount of moisture that is stored in there, and the amount that is being utilized through the processes of evaporation and transpiration, we can then determine from an irrigation standpoint when we need to resupply that soil profile with water. So this is the water cycle in nature. It's pretty self-explanatory. I would like you to be able to discuss how water passes through this cycle and in what form or forms it becomes available to the plant that is growing in that particular soil.